Hi all singles, my name is Freddy. I am the owner of Dating with Freddy, and here in Southern Ontario I am trying to organize dating activities, things for singles to do, ways for them to get out and meet other single people in reality and get away from those pesky dating apps. So 2 days ago I did my first event, which was a speed dating event. It was for ages 25 to 35. It cost $35 to join, 35 Canadian dollars, and in that price it was a drink included. So I wanted to do this video and share my thoughts on it a bit about my and share my thoughts a bit from this event. So the first of all, something that I realized as I was trying to promote the event was just like we sort of understand from seeing statistics from dating apps and seeing how pubs usually are, it was way easier to get men than women to join this. The amount of the amount of work to get young women to join events like this is insane. I try to target my marketing specifically towards women. I spend way more money and time towards that. Still, I had to freeze the male ticket sale in order to manage to get the ratio somewhat accurate. Um, in the end, though, we ended up with 14 signups, which would be 7 male and 7 female. But then 2 of the women didn't show up and 1 man didn't show up. So the event itself we were 11 people. So now some of you may react and say 11 only. That's a low number. Shouldn't you be having like 30 people or something? So there's actually a few people that you can interact with and see if there's potential or not. And while I agree with that logic, if you go to an event like this, a speed dating event, you only get around 5, 6 minutes with this person. And the first time you interact with someone you never met, those minutes go by really quickly and you basically get nowhere into like getting to know them better. Meaning that even though there may be a good potential for you here if you got to know them better, you haven't gotten into that yet. And if you take this to its logical extreme, which you do on dating apps, then you realize that, well, I only see them as a profile. I only see pictures. I don't get any feeling for their depth of personality. I don't see who they actually are. And therefore, I miss many people who should probably be perfect partners for me. And in the same sense, that happens in speed dating, not to the same degree, but to a certain degree if you only have very low time with each person. So by us being fewer, we actually got more substantial interactions out of it. So I think the optimal number of people would be more around like 14, 16 people, where you only have a handful to interact with, but you get to spend more time with them. And I'll get on point three, I'll get more into that. Another problem with dating apps is that you still keep them installed even when you go on the date. You still got all these messages from people who could be more interesting. You're trying to optimize something. The amount of options you have is a problem for you often. Or if you're a young man, you have the opposite problem that you have too few options. So going out to events where there's few people, but still some people. For the men, it's good. You get some people to interact with, some potential, and there you can show off your entire personality and not just your poorly taken pictures. And for women, the fact that you get lower amount of people makes so you can invest more in them and actually go deeper into if this could be a good thing or not. In the end, you need to build. You need to build with the person you're going out with. And if you just keep letting them go all the time because someone who may be better shows up, you're never going to build that. And what you actually want is the relationship that's being built, not the potential relationship that you imagine. And then if we go on to the third point that I learned, which sort of ties into the second, is that because we were so few people, we made a speed dating with a twist, and that is that we had 2 rounds. So you had a round with everybody, you got to interact with them for 6 minutes, then we had an intermission, and then we had another round where you got to talk with everybody again. And at this point, you already passed the introduction and icebreaker phase, and you could go deeper into more meaningful questions, more meaningful topics, and actually see if you would vibe or not, and if there's possibility for a potential relationship there, for going on dates, for building something together. So that was a really good takeaway. It's actually interesting. After the event, so 11 people showed up at the event. After the event, 8 people stayed behind and kept talking, kept having fun for about 40 more minutes. So Even though the event had ended, most people were still there. Two people set up a date that very evening to go out again. They exchanged phone numbers and everything. They didn't want to wait for matchings or whatnot. They set up a date. And then four other people managed to get along so well that they created a WhatsApp group so that they could keep up with each other and go out and do other fun stuff together. And this is the benefit with going out in real life. So number four is that they all wanted to get away from dating apps. Now, naturally, this will be different for people who like going out to events, are more likely to not like being on apps, sure. But there is still something to this because I have never met a single person who says that they really enjoy dating apps. Most of them really want to get away from them. They use the dating apps because it's the only alternative. All of these people want to get away from apps. It was one of the main driving forces for why they were there. They also reiterated what I said before about how they need to know more about the person. They need to get to know the person, not just see profile pictures, because that doesn't tell you anything. And then the fifth thing is that all of the participants basically made friends or had an amazing evening. All of them told me this. They really enjoyed the event. So, and compare that with a dating app. If you use a dating app and then you don't get a date, then, well, that's a wasted evening, right? But if you go out like this, then you still had fun, you had good interactions, and a lot of these people made friends. So you make friends, you get other things going. It just boosts your entire being to go out to these things. And yeah, they all had a good time. And all of them also said that they gave me compliments for organizing this. They said that this is something that's really needed. Keep doing it. Gave me so much encouragement. And we actually have more events coming up. On the 21st, we'll be starting a series of speed dating events. So every Tuesday from the 21st to the 12th, from 21st of November to 12th of December, we'll be doing a speed dating every week. And this will be for different age groups every week. And on top of that, on every Wednesday, we do free dating activities, free single activities. It could be discussion groups, could be movie nights, board games, whatever we feel like. I am organizing that every Wednesday. All of these things are in Hamilton, Ontario. I will branch out to other cities eventually, but right now this is what we got. So thank you for tuning in and listening to me rambling about my awesome event. And follow us. We have on meetup.com, there's a Dating with Freddy group. And then, of course, we have a Facebook as well, Dating with Freddy. Follow us there and come to this event. It's going to be a blast. Thank you so much. Take care.